I call to order the Etna Township Board of Trustees special meeting here on Monday, April 7th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Roll call, please.
Mr. Evans?
Here.
Mr. Burkholder?
Here.
Ms. McKee?
Here. Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second? I will second that. Any discussion?
Yes, we're here again for a special meeting because Mr. Burkholder refused the agenda items on April 1st. The item is the roof repair that he ignored for over a year. I got the quotes. We actually unanimously agreed. And all we had to do is have a prosecutor review. Surprisingly, or not, on that March 18th meeting, Ms. McKee and Mr. Burkholder both refused to address the prosecutor review as I requested. So again, that following week, we had a special meeting for just that one item. This is a repeated occurrence of not being able to manage or even being willing to discuss what's needed in this township. Now, I had also asked for other important things like the road maintenance. That was refused today. I've got vendors contact me saying, hey, we're scheduling everybody around you. It's going to be late this year again if you guys don't get your act together. I've got our road superintendent asking what's going on. And again, more delays. I asked for the quote-unquote investigation to be on here because, again, I can't get any answers whether it's even in progress, who's doing it, and it seems like they're trying to keep that away from me when I have the evidence proving I didn't do it. But again, the prior fiscal officer told Mr. Burkholder on December 13th she accessed it. So again, these things are not being addressed here. And the other thing I will say is I'm shocked, but again, not surprised, to see that Mr. Burkholder is trying to push through the hiring of an administrator that is very important at a non-regular meeting where people didn't, I guess, plan to attend such an important meeting. I believe I even have emails of Mr. Burkholder stating nothing of importance should be handled at a special meeting. It must be at a regular meeting. And as we've seen, no promises have been kept. This at minimum should be at a regular meeting. Waiting one more week, it isn't that big of a deal. But again, we're here today because Mr. Burkholder refused to address these items. I heard some groans from his wife and some others here, but this isn't proper administration.
Mr. Evans,
No,
you're out of order.
no, I'm not.
You're not going to insult the audience.
And
You've got a minute and 37 seconds left. And then
it's
we're gonna move
about,
on.
Ms. Burkholder, this is my time. This is about proper administration, which we haven't had for over 15 months. Actually, over 3 years and 3 months, I should say. We need to address issues, but again, Mr. Burkholder won't even allow a simple discussion, and yet we have to do it today. We even had a single meeting on March 25th to deal with the items Ms. McKee and Mr. Burkholder refused. It makes no sense. They can't move anything forward. I don't know what the major malfunction is, but they sit there slapping themselves on the back saying we're doing a good job when you're not. And this is about dealing with the issues at hand. And not only is the road crew affected by this delayed repair, but the contractor put time aside in his schedule and now it's further delayed. And I'll deal with the contract when it gets through because that was mishandled.
Okay, do you have anything, Ms.
Yeah,
McKee?
I just want to clarify that this is not, we're not pushing anything through. If you read the minutes from prior, we hired a company to hire It's a headhunting company. We spent over $18,000 to hire an administrator. And the person that Mark keeps referring to is in the top 3 from that same company. So I don't understand why he thinks it's a push through. He was the final 3 in the selection of the administrator position.
He was not.
Ms. McKee is correct. So, is there anyone from the public that would like to speak at this time? If so, please come to the podium.
Are we going to take a vote? Or are we going to
Yeah,
disregard
no.
Robert's rules?
No, we'll vote.
Let's vote.
Mr.
Roll call.
Burkholder,
Yes.
Ms. McKee,
Yes.
Mr. Evans.
No.
Anyone like to speak at this time? Please come to the podium, state your name and address, and you'll have 3 minutes.
Alicia Zacher, 79 Trail East, Etna, Ohio. We have been going back and forth since Mrs. Bedsel left with the administrator position. I'm not sure what the holdup is, but I think this township,
You need to speak in our microphone,
oh,
please.
sorry.
Sorry.
I think this township is in desperate need. We need it for everything from what Mark has posted online about office equipment to additional staff. And I think that it's been over and over and over done. I did do a public records on those employees.
Yes.
And that gentleman, who I do not know, seems more than qualified with some zoning experience on top of that. I did do a public records for his background, as well as the others. He was in the top 3, I believe.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good task that this board deal with it one way or another. Mr. Evans, do you know him?
You want me to respond in your time?
Just a yes or no.
I've met him and spoke to him, yes.
Okay. I did a public records on what
He's
she
not
wrote.
qualified.
He's not qualified?
No.
Well,
We can do better.
But
okay, well, we're back to my
I
time
proposed
again.
that.
I didn't ask for all that. I just want to know if you actually met him.
Yeah.
Okay. I read his background.
Unlike
He's
Ms. Hanson's
highly-
interview, I was allowed to know who
okay,
we
let's
were interviewing.
just
May I
direct
have
the
my time
board.
back, please? I just asked a yes or no.
That's fine.
Sorry,
Let's-
I won't do it again. Please
No,
don't.
no, you're okay. Just
Okay.
keep going. I want
I
to
just
get
want
your
to
full time.
clarify. Thank you. I did a public records request on those applicants to see who we were going to have, because we did have somebody who wasn't able to stay for whatever medical reasons or whatever reasons she left. This is going to be the 4th administrator. So I thought, oh my gosh, we've got someone right here, local, that would sounds like, I mean, a winner. Then I did a public records request on you and your correspondence with him. And you wrote him an email, sir.
Mhm.
I mean, where do you even think that it's possible for you to tell him that you don't feel he's qualified and you don't want him? I'd like to read this email because it's unbelievable. He just wanted to reach out. Mr. Evans said, I want to reach out regarding your interest in the administrator position for Etna Township. While I sincerely appreciate your past work and experience, your interest in serving, I do not believe you're the right fit for our township as we move forward. I don't think it's for you to make that decision at this time before a board has actually
30
made
seconds.
a decision. There are numerous issues currently being mishandled. You badmouthed our trustees in this particular email, and you continue to go forward. If you want this township to succeed, despite what you put on Facebook, you should give this gentleman the opportunity to try. He's from the township. You're shaking your head no, but you should.
Because I know more than you.
I don't.
We interviewed him.
Okay, but apparently this topic is an issue for you not to want to do it, but yet, are you trying to get another
Do you want high density
company-
development?
Excuse me, do you want another person here to go pay $20,000 for another headhunter? We've got the top 3 candidates here.
20 seconds.
I would like to finish by saying, you don't know this man, you said. Give the man a chance. You have no reason not to. And if you do, then you should put it in writing like you did here, because what you're saying is
Time.
significant changes in leadership.
Time, you have time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Who's next?
John Hanson, Ridgewood Drive, Etna, Ohio. I didn't really have anything tonight, but Mount Vernon, Mark, Gary, Miss McKee. This is what Evans does. He tries to sabotage hiring. So he puts on here that after bad-mouthing the other trustees, he says,
Yeah.
at that time, I expect that he's running someone against McKee, and he expects significant shifts in the leadership and administration, including reevaluating township administrator. It's imperative that we realign Etna Township's leadership with accountability, transparency, and effectiveness.
Correct.
I wanted you to know, to be aware of my position as you consider taking a role that may be temporary. That sounds kind of like a threat. Additionally, as you may be aware, public employees cannot have a contract with the township for employment. Employment is at will, and I don't believe any severance is enforceable through a resolution.
Correct.
If you have any questions you would like to discuss, feel free to give me a call. I'm sure they're getting breakfast Saturday with a great email like this. But this is what we've seen several times with you sabotaging people. And even people that come here that we're gonna hire, when they get a load of you and do a little Google search, then they back out in that room or back out here and leave. The zoning people, 3 or 4 of them you've chased off. But if they will
That's Mr.
not
Burke.
bow specifically to Mr. Evans' will, he can't have it. He's still extremely butthurt from being removed in 2022, or whenever they removed him, 3 or 4 months after. And it's because of the excessive costs, the excessive litigation, and stuff like this. This is crazy. Absolutely crazy. So, in the end, it's you, Mark, that are stopping progress here. It amazingly blame your walkout, your dereliction of duty last week on Mr. Burkholder.
30 seconds.
I guess that all rings true in your head. But enjoy your fantasy.
It's the fact, sir.
Anyone else at this
Thank
time?
you.
Craig Zacher, 79 Trail East. You know, Mr. Evans, you blame Mr. Burkholder and Miss McKee all the time. I have actual proof, which I'm going to show, that you ran all these employees out of this township. You blame Mr. Burkholder? I have the proof, and I will be showing everyone the proof that you let all these employees go. And now you're fighting again because it's not your person. You're trying to build the kingdom that you say Mr. Carlisle did. You're doing it. You put your friend on the board who's got his own problems legally, and other people. You are the cancer of this township. You said that you're going to try to replace Miss McGee. I promise you, the residents are going to replace you.
It's Miss McKee, not McGee.
Order, please.
I'd like to say I have the evidence
Anyone else?
that Mr. Burkholder
Mr. You're
pushed
out-
away
you're
the
out-
employees.
You're out of order there, Mr.
And the
Mr.
applicants.
Mr. Evans.
Ryan Davis, 8807 Watkins Road. I don't understand at all. I spoke at this podium about the staffing and about the zoning, lack of need and lack of help, basically. Ted's doing the best he can. I just don't understand, of all the work that Mr. Evans decided to volunteer to do this weekend, I still have not seen him in here working, at least in the township. You could argue whether Mr. Burkholder is doing the amount of work you see fit, but he's the one I see here the most. Mr. McKee, I don't drive every day, he may be here as well. But I know Mr. Burkholder is here, parked out front, sitting in this township, trying to help the residents. So.
We're
are you-
streaming.
We're not debating, this
Don't
is public
interrupt
comments.
him. Don't interrupt him, Mr. Evans, please.
Right, you don't
So-
want a dialogue.
You may continue.
I will bring Mr. Evans a keyboard next time so he can talk while I'm talking in a way it doesn't have to be interrupted. It's beyond frustrating. It's no one's fault but Mr. Evans. And I'm glad that the township, even if they're making the not perfect decision, perfection should not get in the way of good. And I think this township needs action while Mr. Evans is complaining about a falling in roof and all the other things that are being over exaggerated. We need to get outside of what the perception of one trustee is and get some work done for the township. The residents don't care about the backup in the town hall. They care about parks. They care about traffic. They care about making sure the roadways are clear and safe during the winter. That's what the trustees should be doing to serve the residents. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? We'll now go to old business. Township Administrator, Resolution 2025-019, Township Administrator. Is there a motion to adopt this resolution?
So moved.
I'll second. And this deals with resolution hiring and establishing the terms and conditions of employment for the Etna Township Administrator. And this is for William Spurgeon. Discussion?
Yes, and I will use my full 10 minutes per Robert's rules. I am literally, again, shocked at the levels that Mr. Burkholder and Ms. McKee will go to. There is no promise that they will keep. Again, I believe I had the emails where Mr. Burkholder said special meetings should not be used for important matters, that they need to be at regular meetings, I guess, unless he wants it. There was a change in this resolution. It was previously resolution, I believe, 11 or 14.
Correct.
Giving Mr. Spurgeon 12 months severance. It was 6, but 12 months severance. I think that's utterly ridiculous and not responsible for the public funds. There's other terms in here that are just crazy, but we shouldn't be dealing with this today. It's important, and I provided options, good options. The search firm, Keller, that wouldn't cost us a dime unless we found a successful candidate that was in the seat. We keep talking about was in the top 3. Wasn't my top 3. It was chosen by another to include in there. I was never supportive, and I actually told Mr. Spurgeon that. I'm not afraid to express my views, my thoughts, my positions to anyone, publicly and privately, and they're the same. I don't modify what I tell people, and I have no problem with it being typed in words, spoken, recorded, whatever. This is about the best thing for the township, and shouldn't we do better? Again, you're trying to shove this through on a special meeting when most people, it's not even the normal day that people can attend the meetings or maybe plan to. It's a totally different day, and I think it's on purpose. There's no live streaming, official live streaming, because we don't want to have this known what's going on. But again, this is not the right person. If people want high density, okay, then it is the right person. But I don't believe it is. The individual's, I guess, motivation and desires for the township are opposite of what the majority of the township has expressed for years. And it's just not right. And as far as administrative experience, doesn't have that much. And we can do better. I mean, obviously, if these two individuals, Ms. McKee and Ms. Burkholder, are gonna shove this through, I hope he succeeds, but again, he does not have the vision for this township that residents have said they've wanted. He is from Newark. He's Newark Central. He's worked in Newark and done all that for the mayor and all that for years. So this is just another person shuffling around the area, coming in, and nothing's gonna change. Now, I hope he can provide some level of management and oversight of employees, because there's zero now. There is no, we have a zoning inspector that's enforcing zoning and giving opinions on a book he knows is incorrect, and Mr. Burkholder does not correct it. He allows it. It's the idea of, you know, we need proper workstations to Mr. Burkholder is going from a 4-foot folding table to a 6-foot folding table. It's absolutely ridiculous. And again, I'm at least, I guess, grateful that I know who is going to be hired, because when the previous administrator, Ms. Hanson, was hired, I didn't see her until the meeting when she came with her family, and I wasn't even told who was interviewed when they scheduled the special interview when I had COVID and they knew I couldn't show up.
Stick
And
to the topic, Mr.
I am
Evans.
on the
Stick
hiring
to
of
the topic.
administrators in the past. It is on topic.
Stick to-
And Mr. Davis even asked for the name, and that was refused. But it's interesting to see how people align when they want to become trustee. And again, at least we know who this is, and you know, he didn't come here unknown with his family like it was a deal already made outside. But I'm concerned that a 12-month severance, when it was 6 months before, and I'm told that, well, he wanted it and Mr. Burkholder put it in there. Like, that is just ridiculous. And again, I proposed the Keller search, which would cost us nothing unless we agreed that that's the candidate we want. And they even have a guaranteed replacement at no cost. But it's just refused because we need to get this one in there, and we need to, you know, everybody that's been hired, Mr. Burkholder has tried to control, whether it's the consultant, the zoning consultant, or others. And it needs to stop. And I'm honest. I let Mr. Spurgeon know that I am not for this hiring. I let him know before. He is on notice that his values and his vision of the future does not match what people want in this area. High density is not what people want. All the warehouses is not what people want, but we're gonna hire someone that's their vision, but they're not gonna push that? I'm sorry, that's just wrong. And we are in crisis, that's true, but we've had 15 months under Mr. Burkholder, and it's an absolute disaster. Yes, he's been in this office, but he hasn't gotten anything done. Nothing is addressed. And it's all busy work for other employees. Can you do this? Can you do that? Can you get a copy of this? Can you research this? Instead of just doing it yourself, because they have so much other work to do. I mean, people don't complain to you, Mr. Burkholder, but they complain. And they let people know. And again, I fear that this is going to be another hire that Mr. Burkholder is going to be over and direct. And are we going to give the administrator be the point of contact for vendors and attorneys this time when you didn't last time? I mean, how is somebody supposed to administer if they don't even have the power to do that when Mr. Burkholder, you want to maintain control over everything? That's not right. We can do so much better. And again, the majority of people that wanted to be here couldn't, because again, this was announced Friday. It's unbelievable.
You have 2 minutes.
No, I'm done.
Very good, thank you.
All right.
Ms. McKee, I'm going to give you an opportunity.
Yeah, I just want to make it
You need
clear
10
because,
minutes?
no,
Okay.
I promise you that. I just want to make it clear to the public that, your administrator cannot make the decision to build warehouses up here or any kind of building, just to make that clear. So Mr. Evans, again, that's part of his, get you to get scared or these tactics that he throws out to the public to get them upset. Just to be clear, it's up to the board. So we can rest assured the administrator cannot make that decision. That's all I have.
Well, I concur with Ms. McKee. I don't know where Mr. Evans gets this high density, and she's absolutely correct. The administrator reports to the full board of trustees. And I vehemently disagree with some of the false accusations that Mr. Evans continues to put forth. I'm not exactly sure for what reason. We have an extremely well-qualified candidate. We've interviewed him 3 or 4 times. He has an extensive background in public safety. He has human resource experience, and he has leadership capability. And he's proven that at various organizations, including the state fire marshals. Leadership is important. And we have a strong person, a strong leader that is excited about coming here. He knows it's going to be a challenge. I will address the 6 to 12 months because of the toxic environment that's been created here by Mr. Evans. And I think some of the comments here tonight demonstrate that. We do have a lot of challenges. We have an extremely amount of work. We've interviewed this candidate several times. Some of the other candidates didn't work out. But I take exception to the fact when Mr. Evans constantly tells me, and really everyone in the community, nothing ever happens here. That's not true. It's time to move forward. It's time to get someone in here that can do the work. And I also disagree. I did not block or control any of the other administrators. They had contact. I supported them on things that they wanted to know about the township, and now it's time to move on.
I do have one question, Mr. Burkholder. If this candidate is appropriate and good for the township, why did you vote along with me to hire an interim while we looked for qualified candidates? That doesn't make sense with what you're doing now, but it goes along with what I'm doing because I'm consistent. I have principles for my actions. Can you answer that question, sir?
You had your 10 minutes.
Can you answer that question?
I'm going to call the question.
You don't want to.
I'm going to
You
call
don't
the
wanna
question.
answer that, do you?
I'm going to call the question. We're moving on, Mr. Evans.
Yeah, you don't want to answer that.
I'm going to call the question. Roll call, please.
Mr. Evans?
No.
Mr. Burkholder?
Yes.
Ms. McKee?
Yes.
Amen.
And he wouldn't answer the question.
Motion passes. We have a new administrator. We will move on to discussion regarding the garage repair. Additional quotes which aren't needed because we voted on this, approved it. We had a legal review. What's the pleasure of the board on this topic? Does anyone want to discuss this?
Well, I'll make a motion to approve the contract, the revised contract that I had to do to move forward with this repair with myself, Trustee Evans, executing the contract and overseeing the work.
Mr. Evans, excuse me, did you say that?
Is there a second to that?
I'll second.
This has already been approved.
It's been approved. It was on condition that the contract be reviewed. That was the meeting on the 18th where they refused to allow the approval. So we had to have the special meeting on the 25th to just get the approval. Mr. Burkholder took it over at that point, sent it in with the improper information. We got back from the prosecutor the 2 changes that they recommended.
What were those changes?
The changes were to remove that the sales tax would be part of it, were tax exempt, and also that any changes had to be written that they said exceeded the 29,000, I think, 300 figure, but you had submitted the wrong information. It's actually, that was the base price for the G-rib, but we included the standing seam, which was another 9,000 something dollars.
I know.
And also the contract that you sent the prosecutor included the G-rib scope and not the standing seam. So again, the contractor was not contacted by Mr. Burkholder, who again took it over.
I did not take it over,
Yes,
Mr.
you did.
Evans. I did not take it over. We were waiting on the
You,
prosecutors. to
you
vote.
took it over to
You
send to
were
the
given- you
prosecutor
were
and
given
deal with.
the
This is my
authority.
time, sir. This is
So
my
what-
time.
what-
You can speak
what
after me.
is
So
the document?
after,
What's
so
the
after the prosecutor got back and Mr. Burkholder did not contact the contractor, I contacted him. He was fine with the changes.
When
I
did you,
confirmed-
when did you contact him?
I don't know the exact date. I could get it to you.
Well, I talked to him today.
Oh, well, I talked to him long before that.
Yeah, and he
I mean,
told-
right.
He told me,
Kinda
he told me you didn't give him the details of what the
Suit.
prosecutor said. So do you
I
have,
sent it to
do
him.
you have the
What
contract?
do you mean? I sent it to, I've
Do
got
you
a
have-
text sending it to Eric. Hold on.
Mr. Evans, do you have a copy of the new contract?
Yeah, I sent it to the board.
I didn't get it.
So anyway,
this
so I
box out?
contacted the contractor. He did not hear from Mr. Burkholder. I went over the two changes.
Did you get it?
And then I sent a response to Bryce, our prosecutor, because I saw a communication where there was some still question up in the air and it still didn't deal with the proper scope. And so I modified the contract. I think Mr. Burkholder was trying to get the prosecutor to, but he wasn't sent all the information. One of the things, other changes the prosecutor missed initially was the signature line. He had just typed in his name. I removed it for what signature. There were a couple other terms in there, such as the high temp peel and stick over the entire structure, not just the low slope and the other changes, and installing the 5/8 plywood per industry standards. So those were included in there. I resent that to the contractor. He was fine with all those changes, and the prosecutor came back and said that they were good with all those changes also. The contractor also sent me back a signed copy, which I have not forwarded, but I do have, and that's where we're at.
Any comment? Roll call, please.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. McKee?
Yes.
Mr. Burkholder?
Yes.
Can
Motion
you
passes.
send me that contract, Mr. Evans?
Yes, and the date I contacted him and went over both of those changes was March 31st at 1:39 p.m. And he had not heard from you, and I think we heard from the prosecutor well before that.
Well, that's because we had given that project to you, Mr.
No,
Evans.
so you took
No,
it over.
That's fine. No, I didn't.
Yes,
No, I
why'd
didn't.
you send it to the prosecutor?
Because that's the
Let's go.
process. we have to
Ill-informed,
follow.
you didn't send the correct stuff.
Move on.
I had to fix it again.
New business.
Let's go.
Well, I did have a question, Jackie, do you have that check available?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So do you have the signed document that by him, that there'll be that extra $9,000?
Yes, that is the contract that I sent to the board, and I believe I included Jackie.
No, you didn't.
Did I?
Is it signed? Where's that signed
I
document?
need
I
to be
haven't,
included
I haven't
on
sent
this,
that one.
please.
When I signed that one, I was gonna provide the board with the full copy.
So we don't have the full copy.
No.
Well, I haven't signed it yet because there was no authorization for me to sign, so there wouldn't be a fully executed contract. We can't go back in time.
Has he signed on the 9,000? Both parties have to sign.
Yep.
Correct.
Okay. Well, then make sure that the full board gets a copy of that signed document.
That's what I do, and that's the proper procedure.
Well, let's
Can
get
you
it
make
so
sure
we
I
can
get
see
a
it.
copy too, please?
New business, the township text amendment. This has to do with Article, I'll move to set the public hearing for the text amendment for Article 5, Section 512, area variances, B standards for area variance, whether a variance is substantial, and you should have that, that document regarding the variance as substantial. They had a meeting, they forwarded us to the township trustees. Text amendment as used in section 512B2, substantial means a deviation of more than 25% from a regulatory requirement. And I'm going to move that we set that hearing for April 30th, which will give us enough time to advertise. Is there a second?
So, second.
Discussion?
What day is that?
30th is a Wednesday.
Why wouldn't we have it on a regular trustee meeting day when everybody's used to coming
It
in?
does not give me enough time to advertise in order to meet the 30-day window.
All right.
The time frame.
All right, I'll, for discussion, this is the matter that was first, actually, they approved this exact thing back in September. And they didn't follow the ORC, I think it's 519.19, that requires within 5 days that it goes to the county planning commission. They just ignored it. They said they sent it to the trustees, never went to the trustees. Mr. Burkholder was like, yeah, we're gonna get it at the trustee level. He didn't know the process. So it's taken over, 7 months to do the same exact thing that we did before, but at least we're trying to follow the law now. But we don't have to have a special meeting to set a meeting, because you don't have a special meeting to set special meetings. This should just be something that's easy to schedule. I created a calculated spreadsheet that you put in the date of approval, and it tells you when you have to do things, the 20 to 40 days, all that kind of stuff, their meetings. This whole thing of the zoning commission changing their meeting date so they can meet stuff and that. The zoning commission has 30 days, I believe, to transmit it to the trustees, and that's when our clock starts. They could simply just withhold it a little bit, transmit it, and there's no forethought or no kind of planning in any of this, where now we have to do it on a Wednesday when
Do you
everybody's...
support this text
No,
amendment or not?
I'm having a discussion.
Yes or no?
I am
No,
having a
you're having a-
discussion.
you're having
No,
a
this is
tirade.
part of the discussion. I know you don't want people to understand the process, why it's failed, why there's issues, but I've been talking about this for well over a year, and I've been ignored.
That's not
Time and
true.
time
Ms.
again,
McKee,
ORC.
do you have anything? I'm tired of your histrionic
you're out of
behavior.
order. This
Do you
is
have
my
anything?
time.
Go ahead, Ms. McKee.
Okay, I just want to be clear. We've been through this process before, and it
You want
ran
to be clerk at
smoothly.
court.
And we
You're out of
made
order.
sure it was on the same night as our regular trustee meetings. But because Mr. Evans continually to harass and our employees, we lost some great people on the board as well as our executive secretary. And we would always be on top of this stuff. Right now, there's a lot of things that's a little bit out of order because of the fact that we continually to have these fights, Mr. Evans, that continues to harass the employees as well as the board. And sometimes things get off kindle because of that. So if we have to move it to an additional day, I'm willing to come in for that, because that's what I'm here to do, to make sure the business of the township continues to go forward. Mr. Evans, I just wish you would please stop trying to fight with the board. Let us do our business. Everything's a fight. It's just never that we can just go to a board meeting, have our meetings, have proper discussion, and move on. It's always a got you moment. It's
How about
always
you follow the
we
law?
did this wrong. You do everything right, but everybody else is wrong.
I follow the law. I follow the rules.
Yes.
Mr.
And
Evans,
again, if you listen to the zoning commission meeting,
Mr.
they
Evans,
all said they were told wrong before. They were told wrong for years. You can listen to the audio that the prior secretary of the board wouldn't do things right.
let's move on. We're
but
not
no,
going to
we're
have
not
character.
gonna
We're
move
not
on.
going to. Why are you so truculent?
We have
Why
10
are you
minutes.
so truculent?
Because I have tried to get what's right for over a year, and you guys
I'm going to
just
call the
ignore it.
question.
And
Roll
it's-
call,
all right,
please.
Public comments, I'll continue it there.
See, more threats.
Roll
That's
call,
what he
please.
does.
Mr. Burkholder?
Yes.
Ms. McKee?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
We're getting things done.
Very good.
Really? 6 months later?
Okay, let's move on.
Thank you,
Six-
fiscal officer.
7 months later.
Is there a motion to approve resolution 2025-017?
So moved.
Approve the purchase orders. I'll second that. Discussion.
Hold on while I bring up the purchase orders.
He's bringing that up.
Yeah, I put them in diligent. We should all be putting the information in diligent because then the public can have it too.
Okay,
Now, was the toner purchase removed?
yes.
Have we come up with a system so we don't have that happen again?
Yes.
All right.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Burkholder?
Yes.
Ms. McKee?
Yes.
Is there a motion to ratify the payment of the bills as shown on the payment listing?
So moved.
Second. Discussion. Roll call, please.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Burkholder?
Yes.
Ms. McKee?
Yes.
Now, can I say a few things?
Absolutely.
Yes,
Thank
Ms. Fiscal Officer.
We have a planned maintenance agreement on the generator over at the garage.
Okay.
It's coming up for renewal on the 1st through UPS. I'd like to renew that again. I talked with Bubba about that and he said it did help. It saved us money on the battery when it went bad. So I'd like to be able to put that in the POs next time and write the check.
How old's the warranty for those?
It's a year.
Yeah,
They
bring-
come out twice a year
Okay.
and fix it, and if we have a problem, they'll fix it.
Make sure that it gets on the 15th meeting.
Okay. Next thing is, I'd like to transfer some money. A lot of money.
Go ahead.
The business account only grants us 0.55 interest rate.
Mm-hmm.
The MMA, we get 2.45 interest rate. And the STAR account, we get 4.46. I'd like to take at least, I think there's $5 million or $6 million in the Park National. I'd like to take a couple million and put it into STAR so that we gain twice as much.
Yeah.
Can I ask why this wasn't provided prior to the board? No,
Why this wasn't provided?
This is important, and I know in
I
past.
just started working on the bank rent for this next meeting, and I thought, well, you know what, while I'm doing this, I can ask the question, I got the percentage rate right here. I mean, we can either leave it where it is, I don't care, but we can make better interest rate on the STAR account.
How much is in the park account?
You're the fiscal officer.
I think there's like 5 to 6 million in the park
May-
account.
Well, I know in past audits, they've dinged us for having too much in those accounts, and I think it was kind of $1 million in that, and that's, I think I asked you about before, how much are you holding in those accounts? We gotta keep, I think, a better eye on that, no?
Well, let's bring this on the April 15th, and since this is a special meeting, and have the numbers and everything, and the board can consider it, and I agree, an investment policy, which I don't think the township has. I will say that we do have some major projects coming forward, but we'll have this on the 15th agenda.
And I think it's a good idea. The jet board, we utilize as a STAR account, and it's really making us a lot of money. So I would definitely like to see us have more discussion as a board.
Very good. Anything else? Ms. Coutinho?
No, nothing else.
Very good. Thank you. Public comments, 2 minutes per person. You got 2 minutes, Mr. Evans.
Can you fix this?
Well, you'll silence me under trustee comments, so you gotta do this. Again, the whole zoning process and that, I've tried to get it followed correctly. It's actually law, and it's pretty simple to follow. But again, Mr. Burkholder did not know the simple process, and he was trustee before for 4 years. The zoning commission chair fought tooth and nail against that, wouldn't even let me speak at the meetings I mean, this isn't how things are run. I mean, everybody's afraid of discussion, facts, and just bringing agenda items up. Again, that's why the roof repair was here, because Mr. Burkholder, you refused to put it on the last meeting. And the prior meeting, Ms. McKee and Mr. Burkholder, you failed to put the prosecutor request on there, which included the public records requests that were being sued at that you haven't addressed since May. But this is what I, as a trustee, have been fighting against.
This is limited to the agenda items,
And
Mr.
even
Evans.
that is not correct, and you refuse to get a prosecutor opinion on that because you're stifling people's public comment rights, First Amendment rights, by limiting it. Have you talked to an attorney on that? I have, several other entities. They said you cannot limit public comments. You know who said that? Our former secretary, the one that also misled us on other things. So it's time that we just get a proper opinion on stuff, but again, you'll probably block it. And this meeting shouldn't have even been necessary if it would have just been on the prior meeting. But again, you refused, just like, what was it, July 16th, 2024. You refused to put any other agenda items on there, and that was your campaign promise. You broke that. So you keep saying that we need to do stuff. Well, stop blocking it. Stop the block. And to address other people's comments, Mr. Davis was all concerned about streaming until I really proposed, what, the fourth time? And now he's silent. He doesn't say anything about Mr. Burkholder or Ms. McKee blocking it.
You have 30 seconds.
And it's just outrageous what's being done. And as far as driving employees away, I've got emails saying that they withdrew because of Mr. Burkholder. And, oh yeah, it is. And that's why we can't get a zoning inspector in here and a planner, because nobody gets contacted back. Our prosecutor had to reach out to Mr. Burkholder twice.
Your time's
without
up, sir.
response.
Thank you. Who's next?
Smirk all you want. This is a failure, complete. And I've had no.
Alicia Zacher, 79 Trail East, Etna, Ohio. I'm going to keep it to the administrator. I'm glad to see this board has voted. As we all know, this has been an ongoing thing, and it has had several meetings with this topic. It has gone on. So whether it's a Monday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday, it's at least been a month. The email that you sent, though, was on March 26th. So you sent it way before this. And you told that man not to come, basically. And then you told him, well, it sounded like it. I didn't vote for you. And if you come here, just so you know, we're an at-will state and all the other things. Are you going to give the man a chance? Are you going to give the man a chance? You don't know him, right? I don't know. Give the man a chance. I asked this board to consider this gentleman. I read his background. I think he's qualified. I thank the board for making a decision and taking. Excuse me, I'm speaking. And that's another thing. You are so rude to the residents out here. I read your deposition, and the things you said about a lot of the residents was unbelievable and unforgivable. If you think it's unsafe for us to come here to this township without a sheriff, then you should tell everybody that. Warn us if you think it's so dangerous.
To my life, yes.
Okay, well, we weren't really talking about you, sir, but of course, somehow it comes back around to you. Thank you to the board for making the decision on a township administrator. He can make a decision on desks and all the other things that go on here, what an administrator should be doing.
Where's the rest of it?
You should focus on treble.
What happened to the last
Did you
administrators?
focus on treble, sir?
What happened to the last one?
Did you ever come up with a decision to
Yeah.
work with treble? Because that is
Work
outstanding.
with someone that overcharged everybody?
Sir, I just want to know if you had a meeting with him.
Wow.
That's all I have to say. Thank you. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Where's the rest of this resolution?
That was my question. Mr. Burkholder wanted me to sign just page 6 of a 6-page thing without anything else attached.
You have it?
And typically there's errors and
She was supposed to change it.
I
changed
changed
it and
everything.
gave it to you.
I changed everything and gave the packet.
Yeah, we passed it down.
Yeah, so.
Mr. Burkholder, can you silence your phone during these meetings, please?
That's the
It's
timer,
disrespectful.
That's another thing.
I want to give them their full time. Which one did you?
This is 5
This-
6.
Where's the rest of the?
So this is 5 6.
I think there's a resident up here wanting to speak while you go through the paperwork.
Mr.
I'm waiting to be recognized by the chair.
Go ahead.
Sorry about this.
Ryan Davis, 8807 Watkins Road. I want to reiterate that, Mr. Burkholder, you obviously control everything. That's why it sounds like Mr. Evans made a change to the contract for the roof, which I don't quite understand the process, getting how much back and forth there is, but it sounds like a change was made outside the board. So I don't understand that.
It was a
There more time to-
proposed
I'm not
change.
asking for commentary, sir.
Right.
Let him finish, Mr. Evans.
So if there was some cohesive, team-centric conversation, it'd be a lot easier for people that do not attend these meetings all the time, and do not keep up on all the township business, to understand more clearly what's going on. And I think that anything that is being discussed, including the administrator, could have been discussed by asking more questions and getting more answers. I think there's always room for a middle ground in positions, and I think that it's been expressed multiple times tonight on multiple topics that some people on the board do not choose to find a middle ground. I think it's extremely important that the tone of the township changes, and I think I'm like most people that do not comment on Facebook. They do not want to hear the retribution that we've seen here tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else for public comments? Announcement and trustee comments?
I'll move to speak under the trustee comments. We had a plumbing and draining issue out here in the township, and we hired this plumbing and draining professional that we paid a total of $613.99. And from my understanding, there was a discount applied.
I thought we have to keep to the
This is in
agenda
regard
topics,
to billing.
not the bill that was on the agenda. Or are we picking and choosing what we're going to
We're not
discuss?
picking and choosing. Some,
Trustee comments.
these are trustee comments.
Right.
And it's
I
under
was told it
billing.
has to,
Excuse
so,
me,
okay,
sir.
we get free reign.
Okay, he doesn't want me to speak about it because of the fact that he went to this entity and got a discount. We are a public entity, and that's unethical what you did, Mr. Evans. You put it out on Facebook. You put it out on Facebook that you got a discount. That is, we are a government. You cannot do that. That's unethical. Ohio company cannot do a business with a private company and ask for a discount.
So
So, I'm
ask
just
being
letting you know.
diligent to keep the
You
same
cannot
price as last year.
allow,
Okay.
yeah, that's different. So I'm just
I'll
letting
be
you know.
more than happy to put this on the 15th
So let's make sure that gets on the
agenda,
next
so.
agenda.
Wow.
Would you please make a note of that. Thank you. Any comments, Mr. Evans?
Yeah, my comment about middle ground. Is there a middle ground in a robbery? Is there a middle ground in a rape? Say, hey, just a little bit. No, there's right and wrong. And sometimes there is compromise that should be done, but when the law states a certain thing, there's no middle ground. And Mr. Davis, who is running for trustee and ran before, if you think there's a middle ground on the law and ethics, you're wrong. It's black and white. Most everything is. When it states that you have 5 days to transmit to the Licking County Planning Commission and you have 20 to 40 days to hold a public hearing, and all that takes is a little management and organization to do. And I've tried to work, I've provided 4 different streaming options. I've even offered to install the wiring, saving about $1,000 for the township. It's plug and play and all that. And for the statement of it was changed outside a meeting, it's called a proposal. Mr. Burkholder changed the administrator's contract from 6 months to 12-month severance, but Mr. Davis didn't mention that. He didn't have any kind of concern about that. It's only attacking me because I didn't support him for his prior run. This is about doing what's right. Time and time again, I'm contacted by residents. Why isn't this being done? Why isn't zoning being enforced? Why isn't that? And to be critical that I'm honest with an applicant. Again, Mr. Burkholder refuses to answer why we voted for an interim to search for somebody else if this third place candidate was the panacea of what we needed. He doesn't want to answer it because he's wrong. So all I'm trying to do is move us forward in the right direction on even minor stuff. We still don't have, again, the zoning book is out of date. The zoning inspector admits it, and he says, what am I supposed to do? Mr. Burkholder has had complete control for 15 months and has done nothing to address any of it. And I feel bad for the zoning inspector because he's just blowing in the wind, but he's making decisions that are incorrect, totally incorrect. So
There's your 2 minutes.
no. It's 10 minutes per
We're
Robert's
not gonna
rules.
give you 10 minutes because
No.
all you wanna do
All right,
is
no.
campaign for the bench.
No, I'm sorry, but you don't want people to hear the truth. And again, why would anybody on this board not agree to have a discussion on anything? When I was president, I proposed quite a bit that needed to be done.
How long was he
But
president?
the other two refused and never submitted any items. But you know what? Miss McKee submitted one.
That's enough.
And that was to remove me. And what I did, I put it on the agenda because it was her right. But Mr. Burkholder and Miss McKee don't think like that. They want to stifle. They want to silence you. They don't want things being brought up. Like I said, I asked for that discussion on the investigation. They still refuse to even state if it's going on or who's doing it. Now, if I'm the subject of it, shouldn't they be talking to me? No, they're not. It's the same thing Miss McKee did before of calling off the attorney before they talked to me and, wrap it up for the election.
That's enough.
This is just ridiculousness,
That's enough campaigning.
and it's
Mr.
been a
Evans.
failed leadership by Miss McKee and Mr. Burkholder. No, people are hurt. Our employees are being hurt. You don't hear it because they know you won't do anything. Just like that roof leak for a year.
You knew about it for 3 years.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Show me. Show me where I knew it was a roof leak for
Because I
3
talked to the
years.
superintendent.
No.
Yes.
Nope.
Yes.
2 years.
Okay,
Sorry.
I've got a few positive things I want to say. This job obviously isn't an easy job, but I do want to say to the community, I do appreciate your patience, but a lot of things are being accomplished, given the fact that we have some hurdles. We have a gentleman that wants to cyberbully and gaslight and make false narratives at all hours of the day against the community. But we've gotten a lot of grants. Got over 500,000 for Pike Street. We're doing some things with High Point Park. We're getting ready to wrap up that conceptual study for the big park. I can tell you our staff has worked extremely hard. They are overwhelmed because I've been in the office. People walk in every day, they have questions, can you help us? I've got compliments from Bob Dyer at Redwood that he was so pleased the way he was treated by Ted. But when you overload everyone, there's a lot to keep up with. You know, because of the votes, and Mr. Evans was part of this, we lost 64 hours of production time per week with the departure of our most recent township administrator and then our zoning consultant, who actually cost us less than the one that we used out of town. That's 64 hours. And we were trying to keep up and get ahead during that process. The great thing is we've gotten some things done here tonight. That's what I look at, the positive things that we're doing here in the township. We still need to hire that contractor to redo the zoning code. That's something I brought to the board that didn't get passed. Mr. Evans voted against that, that's fine. But the most, and I appreciate the comments here tonight, we are in a critical situation. We need an administrator. We need that extra expertise and leadership in here every day, working with the staff, working with them to train them and support them, and add a planner or a zoning administrator. So I continue to look forward, and I think my colleague Ms. McKee does. But looking back at the past and trying to relitigate, which I've said over and over again, doesn't help anyone. It is about compromise, but it's also about working together and having a civil and professional demeanor, which unfortunately sometimes is demonstrated to be absent from this chamber. So I'm very positive. We've hired a very talented person, and he is very excited. He will speak for himself when he comes back. But he's really looking forward to the challenge here, and he is looking forward to working with us. So again, thanks for coming. Do you have anything else, Ms. McKee?
No, I'm just
If not,
excited about getting that new administrator so we can take care of some things as far as we mentioned the office staff. One of the things that we want to make sure that the zoning manager and zoning employee gets that support that he needs, which some of that stuff falls back on our administrator here, Holly. So once we get that, then she will be able to get the help that she needs at the same time. So I think it'll work itself out.
Well, finally, I would just like to ask, when are you going to start working together? Because you refuse every agenda item.
well, that's not correct,
Oh,
Mr.
it
Evans.
is.
We put
It's in the
some,
video. I've sent it to the
Well,
reporters. They know, they see.
well, I'm going, yeah, they've asked me. and
We've
I-
had to have special meetings because you refuse.
Mr. Evans, let me say one thing, though. I do want to refute a false narrative, which is most disappointing for Mr. Evans to go on Facebook and make the statement that I purchased a brand-new desk. He comes in here at night, he takes pictures,
Yeah.
he videotapes in the restroom, and then he comes out and says that I bought a brand-new office for my office
Yes,
suite.
yes.
Absolutely false.
Here it is on Facebook.
That was for the administrator, the previous administrator, Susan Bedsole, and she picked it out,
Yep,
and that was her purchase.
that's right.
What about the
Because-
zoning employees?
Because we
We're
had
not
to,
gonna support them,
oh
right?
no, we are.
Well, I think the administrator take care of that. That will be their
That's
job
correct.
to run their office.
Well, which of
I'll
We've
move-
had several.
I'll move to adjourn if there's no further
I'll
discussion.
second.
Is there a second? Roll call, please.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Burkholder?
Yes,
Ms. McKee?
Yes.
thank you for
Thank you very
coming.
much.
Stand adjourned.
7:02. Oh, you're gonna get home by 8 o'clock.
No, I can't wait.
I can't wait.